Southern whites were allowed to completely rewrite the narrative around the Civil War and even cast themselves as heroes in hindsight because they were never really held accountable for their acts of sedition against their own country. Because Presidents Lincoln and Johnson pardoned the majority of Confederate officers and soldiers to keep peace in the Union, they got to go back to their homes and begin the process of rehabilitating their images for the generations that would follow. This left the door wide open for a thought movement in the American South that came to be known as the Lost Cause. The Lost Cause propaganda campaign centered around three things: portraying Southerners as heroic patriots that were fighting for a just cause and who were simply outnumbered, promoting the narrative that enslaved people were treated well and that they loved their masters and were essentially happy to serve, and that slavery was not the root cause of the Civil War. This narrative ended up in films like Birth of a Nation and in one of my favorite films, Gone with the Wind, and in textbooks all over the South. And it also led to the erecting of a ton of monuments in former Confederate states that honored veterans of the Confederacy. In part 3, I'm going to tell you about the Southern Women's Group, who's responsible for keeping this whole narrative going.